Hi, good morning. All right, it's still house sitter season. Summer is coming to a close, right? And so the last US house sit, like boom, the last US house sit, um, s- I can't think of the word, like the last time for this summer when you're going to see a whole bunch of new house sits in the US is Labor Day weekend. So we're just going to talk about if you have not started house sitting yet, how could you get yourself a house sit for Labor Day weekend? Okay, that's what we're going to do today. Good morning, everyone. I'm house sitting right now. I just got here yesterday in, where am I? I just left Daytona. I'm in Fort Myers. I'm on the other side of Florida. I'm in Fort Myers, Florida. It's a beautiful home with two dogs and a brand new kitten. The cat is tiny, and I don't know, you're not going to be able to see the pool. Let's see. If we point at that, no. The pool is out there, right? Beautiful home. I'm on a beautiful house sit. And so we're going to talk about how, if you want to get a house sit in the United States this summer, Labor Day is the last chance. I don't want to sound fatalistic, all right? I'm not saying it's the last chance ever. I'm just saying the last chance for the summer. In the United States, in most places, house sits are, I'm sorry, I'm looking down because my necklace it looks like this. I wore my necklace yesterday, took it off, put it on the nightstand, and now it's in the world's most knottiest knot, right? Like all you have to do to get a good knot in something is just put it down, and next thing you know, boom. And I'm gonna have to leave it alone. So anyway, we are going to talk about how to get yourself a house sit for this summer, for Labor Day weekend, if that's what you want, okay? House sitter season comes back in the U.S. in Thanksgiving, Christmas, Martin Luther King Day. Those are big house sitter. That's a big house sitter season as well. And then spring break is always a big house sitter season. So it's not like this is your last chance to house sit in the United States, okay? I'm just saying that this is when those last minute summer house sits just appear. And anywhere in the US. Right now, yeah, anywhere in the US. And then after house sitter season, once we're out of this version of house sitter season and into the fall, we'll see house sits in the most popular cities in the U.S., but we'll see a decline in the house sits in the not so popular parts of the U.S. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about. Good morning, Rashida. Hello. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, Fatumata. I've seen you guys, Rashida and Fatumata. I just saw you guys yesterday. Hello, like on the internet. Good morning, Janae. Rashida and I are in the. No, I don't want to tell you that. Okay. Good morning, Janae. Hi, Janae. Good morning, Zenobia. Good morning. Let us lunch. Hi. Good morning, Simi. Good morning, Alfreda, who I also saw your shining face yesterday, your beautiful face yesterday. Hello, Talanda. Hello, Arnell. Okay. So I see if any of you are house sitting right now, or if you have a house sit planned for August, share the details. Okay. Share things with us. Let us know what's happening. All right. And if you want to get started, this will be a quick Q&A where we'll talk a little bit about housing and how you can get started for the summer, all right? Good morning, everybody. Halisi in Our Black Utopia, she says, was it Halisi? We're house sitting right now, yes. All right, in Denver, I think. I think Halisi and her husband are house sitting in Denver. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. She's just documenting. I can't do two things at once, and I can't stop fidgeting with my necklace because I have to wear it. She and Halisi is Our Black Utopia. Her YouTube channel is for people, Black retirees who, forgot to save for retirement, right? What do you do when, it's time to retire and we forgot to save for retirement? Halisi and her husband are documenting right now the process of them getting residency in both Mexico and Portugal, I'm pretty sure. I think that's what's happening, both Mexico and Portugal. So you can take a second and subscribe to her channel, which is Our Black Utopia, if you want to follow along on these journeys with them. And yes, they're house sitting right now, okay? So I want to start off the conversation. It's nice, Talanda. It's a nice house. So yeah, my mom one time, she was like, you house sit in some really nice houses. I'm like, yeah, girl, like that's what I pick, right? I pick. One of my house sitting criteria when I see a house sit pop up is would I pay to stay in that house, right? If it was an Airbnb, would I pay to stay in that house? Doesn't mean it needs to be glamour, okay? It doesn't need to be glamour, but I do want it to be a place where I'm going to be like happy to wake up in, right? And you know, that happy to wake up in. And so this summer I've chosen to only house sit in houses with pools. That's not the only, right? That's not my normal criteria, but this is a particularly hot summer. I fed these dogs. Okay. So I fed the dogs this morning, and then the repairman came to repair the stove. We'll talk about that. Repairman came, and so the little dog was so busy worried about what the repairman was doing that I think the big dog ate her food. So I'm going to have to go and feed her because she's not going to stop barking. But I think that's what happened. I tried to get her to go in and eat her food they eat in a little like laundry room. And she was so busy wondering what he was doing, all up in his business, that she couldn't, that I don't think she ate her food. So this would be a good time for you, if you have a YouTube channel, to share with everyone what your channel is about, okay? You can't put any links in my chat. You cannot put links in my chat, okay? But you can share with people what your YouTube channel is about. You guys have a quick follower party, and I'll be back with the dog who is not barking. Okay, do that. Okay, I'm coming. You had time to eat earlier, remember? Do you remember? Yeah. Come on, Lucy. Here. Eat your food. Is that what you wanted? You didn't want that? What did you want? Okay, y'all want to meet Lucy? Oops, let's see. This is Lucy. She is she's whatever that kind of dog is that's very cuddly, the cockapoo, right? I mean, very soft, like a little teddy bear, but she's not into cuddling. She's not. She's Miss Independent. She's not into that kind of thing. This is Lucy. But she didn't want to eat. I don't know what she was barking about. She was standing in the room with the food barking. I don't know. Hope she didn't see a mouse or anything. Okay. Did you do a file? You didn't do it? Okay, so you didn't. Okay, are y'all here? Is anybody here? Is this too disorganized for you today? You're not into it? Nobody wanted to share their YouTube channel info? Okay. All right. Okay. So important points about house sitting. Like I said, there was a repairman who came today. Not my favorite thing. I don't like it when I house sit and they have people scheduled to come to the house sit while I'm here. So with house sitting, it's important to note house sitting is for people who are willing to take responsibility of other people's homes and pets, okay? So it's not a party. It's relaxed and chill, yes, and probably an hour of responsibility or 2 hours of responsibility per day, but those responsible hours are important, right? And so house sitting is for people who who are okay with taking responsibility for other people's very important things, their homes and their pets, right? So my client, she said somebody dropped something on the glass cooktop, on the ceramic cooktop or whatever they're made from, those cooktops, you know, the stove. Somebody dropped something on it and broke it. She ordered a replacement stove and had a repair person come to install the replacement top. And they had sent her the display model. They sent her the model that had no like wiring. So then she's like, I'm sorry, but they're going to come while you're here. Is that okay? And I said, sure, it's okay. He came today, and the one that came today wasn't the right one because it didn't fit in the space, right? So a house sitter has to be okay with being responsible for someone's home, for someone's pets while they're gone. If there's a tropical storm or a hurricane that comes through, if there's a pet that dies. I had my first pet die on me in my last house sit, right? A fish, the first time that I've had a pet die, right? So house sitting is for people who want to and are okay with being responsible for other people's very important things, their homes and their pets. That's number one. So in less than 2 weeks, I had 3 people schedule a house sitting call with me and not cancel, just not show up. 3 people in 2 weeks schedule a call, pay for a call, and not show up. So that makes me think that maybe I am not talking enough about the type of person that house sitting is for and the type of person that house sitting is not for. House sitting is not for the person who's going to just not show up, right? If you are a person who often has emergencies, right? If you are a person who often has things happen that oh, whoops, I can't do what I said I was going to do, house sitting is not for you, okay? House sitting is for someone who is going to be where they say they're going to be, do what they say they're going to do, and stay, right? Stay there until it's over. And if you stumble into a house sit that is not what you expected, you cannot just abandon those animals, abandon the pet, abandon the family, right? And so I'm going to talk today about how to make sure you don't end up in a house sit that is like not what they told you, okay? But I don't want to, so we'll talk about that, but also just make sure that you know that this is the kind of person that you are. If you don't know that kind of person, if you don't know if you're that kind of person or not, ask somebody, or maybe that's a good sign. If you can't say, you know what, I am the kind of person who does what she says she's going to do and shows up when she says she's going to show up. If you can't say that, then maybe it's just not for you, right? Get you an Airbnb and be happy, right? Get in a hotel and be happy. Stay in a hostel, stay with friends, do couch surfing. There are other options besides house sitting for people who don't want to be responsible for other people's homes and pets. I promise y'all, I just cannot convince my brain that I don't need this necklace on. I can't do it. I can't stop. Every time I feel like I'm closer to untangling it, I'm not. I can't. Is this how annoying is it that I'm not looking at you in the camera? I know it's very annoying. I just finished the YouTube Success Challenge for August. I've just finished hosting the challenge, had 40 students. And if I saw one of my students doing this, I'd be like, girl, quit. Quit. What are you doing? What is the problem? I can't get it. All right? So, yeah, nobody's here in the chat. Nobody's interested. I think I ruined the video, Janae. I've started off on a weak foot, on a bad foot, and it's just going downhill. This is just a YouTube live stream that has gone downhill quickly, okay? So, so that's what's going on. Yes, so the fish died. I house sat for 2 little adorable little dogs and 5 fish, and then one of the fish died the first day, right? First time I've ever had a client die. It was very upsetting, very upsetting, because now I got to tell this woman on her vacation this fish who she named, right? Like some people have fish and they're just in the background. Like she took time to tell me all of their names and where the names came from. These 2 are named after 2 characters from, I think it was Moana or some movie, right? So it was upsetting to have to tell her that. And to not, what is this? It was upsetting to tell her that. And, it was upsetting. And then I had to dispose of the little fish, right? Because she didn't want me to wait until she came back. I forgot to put my nail back on. She didn't want to wait until she came back. Stephanie, I babysat as a teen and had people who hired me for 4 hours but would come back. Oh, I don't know what you're saying. I don't get it. I missed it. I couldn't figure out what it was. When is the next YouTube Success Challenge? Likely November or December. I don't have a date yet. Likely November or December. All right. I'm preoccupied too, Nirel. Okay, we're here. Okay, so I've done a lot of YouTube live streams about house sitting, okay? Yes, most house sits are pet sits. Right now, most house sits are pretty short. So I've had 4 house sits in 3 weeks or something? Because most house sits are pretty short right now. This is a time in America when people just cannot or are not taking long breaks, right? Are not taking long vacations. This is an unusual summer for house sitting. In the US, normally in the summer, you can find a good beefy house sit, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. This has been a 3-4 day house sit summer, in my opinion. Again, anything is possible, so you'll see any other things pop up on Trusted House Sitters. But from what I've seen, this has been a short sit summer. Short sit summer. You guys want to go outside? This has been a short sit summer. So I've been stacking my house sits back to back to back. Or not really. I had a little break in between where I stayed in an Airbnb. Okay. So you just check behind you. They're acting up. They're pretty good, and they're a little older than the other two dogs who were so rowdy together. These two are a little older, so I don't expect any noise to continue because they're not going to keep playing for very long. They're going to wear themselves out. They're not into all of this like those other two were, who just could not get themselves calmed down. So, okay. I'm still like, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. I'm just going to dip down so you can't really see the empty space where my necklace should be. You can't see the empty space. Let me get them outside and see if that helps. You guys want to go out? All right. So most house sits are pet sits. Right now, house sits are very short. But don't let that alarm you. You can find anything, right? You can find anything. Y'all want to see the backyard? You can find longer sits when you need to. Right, let's see, how did I do? Pool, am I showing you right? Pool and the little thing and it's a really nice Florida yard. I can't get it. There you go. Really nice Florida yard. I don't know. Okay. You're welcome to stay out. I didn't mean for you to come back. Go. You don't want, I don't know. I don't know these dogs. I just got here yesterday, so I don't know what they want. I don't know. I'm going to leave the door open. All right. Okay. So if you want to get started, okay, so here's the point of the video. We're going to get to it, I promise. If you want to get started with house sitting for this summer, so you can book a nice house sit for Labor Day weekend, which is the final blowout weekend of the summer for house sitting, what you need to do is get your Trusted House Sitters membership. Okay, I'm going to give you my affiliate link to Trusted House Sitters right here. It's also in the description of this video. If it's not, I'll put it there, right? You need to get your Trusted House Sitters membership. You have to pay to get a membership on Trusted House Sitters. What you're paying for is you're paying for access to the clients, right? You're paying for access to those clients who need a house sitter. You're also paying for insurance protections, right? So if the lady had sued me for her fish's death, right? Trusted House Sitters insures me, right? Or if I burn down the kitchen, Trusted House Sitters insures me. So you're paying for insurance protection and access to these clients through Trusted House Sitters, okay? So number one, get your profile. Number two, set up your profile. Get your membership, set up your profile. It has to be thorough. These are people who are going to let you stay in their home when they're gone, okay? So this is not the time to be coy and cute. This is not the time to be mysterious or just give a little bit of info, okay? Trusted House Sitters profiles have to be thorough. People have to feel like, I know her, once they read your profile and watch your little intro video if you record that, right? Record a little intro video and let people know who you are. If you're a shy and quiet and reserved person, say that. If you're a go-getter who loves to go out and see all the sights and do all the things, and right, say that. But let people know who you are. Don't have them questioning what kind of person you are, because they're not going to book you, right? They'll book the person who is clear about themselves, right? The person who is more open, and the person who actually takes the time to thoroughly fill out their profile, okay? Join Trusted House Sitters, get your profile. If you want extra support in setting up your profile, I have House Sitter School, okay? House Sitter School is not something you need in order to become a house sitter. House Sitter School is there for you if you're the person who's like, listen, I want somebody to help me set up this profile. I want someone to walk me through this. I want a little extra support, okay? That's who House Sitter School is for. Everyone, though, is invited to download the new House Sitter Toolkit, okay? My new House Sitter Toolkit, excuse me, is a bunch of resources for house sitters, right? The things that I use not only to get the house sit, like my letter, the new House Sitter Toolkit includes the letter that I send to people, the email the template of the email that I send to people, right? It includes that. But it includes like things that I do to just be comfortable, right? I think there's an Instacart discount link in there. I think there's a link to like Uber Eats and DoorDash or something like that, so that if you've not used these before, you can use these in your house sit and just be comfortable while you're there. Okay? Thank you. I've been in humidity for weeks now. I went from Raleigh, North Carolina to Nashville, Tennessee to Florida. So my hair's it's doing pretty good. I'm not doing anything to it, but it's doing pretty good. So thank you so much. Yes, I know there's going to be lizards in the house. I don't think there's any chance that it's not going to happen. So the door's open, and now they've calmed down, right? Now that they have the option to be in or out, they're just on the floor playing with their bones, right? Thank you very much, Professor LCH. Thank you. Yeah, my hair's been doing pretty good in the humidity down here. I'm in Fort Myers, which is south of Tampa. Yeah, Fort Myers area. So it's good. This is another short one, right? I got here yesterday afternoon, and I leave on Monday, I believe. I leave on Monday. Another short one. They're out on a boat, right? So when the repairman couldn't fix the thing, I have no recourse. I have no way to tell her except to text her, and she'll read it later, right? So the repairman came, couldn't fix the thing, took the check she left. This is why it's not my favorite thing to house sit when people have repair work happening. I always ask, who's coming to the house, and do you have anyone scheduled to do any work in the house? If they say the housekeeper and the gardener, I'm in. If they say the repair person, I'll think about it. Now, for this house, I was fine with the repair person coming in, but she has to also be fine with knowing that she's on a boat. And when he said, I can't do it, now where's my check? I'm just going to hand over the check, right? I'm not doing all this negotiating, right? I'm not. He got the full check, right? She didn't leave a contingency check. This is the check if he does the work, and this is the check for if he comes but he can't do the work. You know what I'm saying? Asking if they have someone coming to the house is a must. Always ask your house sitting clients. Once you get to the point where you're talking about confirming or not confirming, always ask. You decide what you're into or not. You decide. This is their cup. I thought it was so cute. I'm using her things. I didn't bring my everyday cup. I brought this, but you have to squeeze it every time you drink it, which I think might be how I popped my fingernail off. So whatever. So I'm using hers. Yes, thank you for going outside. Yes, good morning, LG and LA. I don't think I've seen your name in a while, so hello, happy Saturday. Yes, this is right. So the question of who's coming to the house while you're gone is a question that I started asking when I booked a house sit, and she had a whole bunch of repair people coming. And I'm like, right now, what does this mean? Am I supposed to stay here and monitor them? If something goes wrong, am I in charge? If they can't do the tile you want, do I get to pick the new tile? Right? So I started asking that question, and then you decide, right? You decide. So there are things where I would be like, no, I don't want to. And there are things where I'd be like, okay, I'll do it, right? You decide, right? You decide. Yes. Yes, house sitting is pet sitting most of the time. Most house sits are pet sits. In particular, house sits that are under 3 months old, 3 months long. If you want a house sit that's not a pet sit, those house sits tend to be 3 months, 6 months long, where they just don't want the house empty. Or they want somebody to water the plants. I guess I'm going to move that down to 2 months, right? They want somebody to come in and water the plants. But if you're leaving, you don't need a house sitter for a long weekend, right? If you're leaving for 6 days, you don't need a house sitter if there are no pets there. So most house sits are pet sits. Okay, and there's a tiny kitten. She's so cute, but the dogs are too aggressive. They're not mean, but I just mean they're too high energy. She can't handle it, so she has to stay in the girls' rooms. Okay, so how do I pack? I saw this question. How do I pack for these short house sits? Because I knew I was going to be doing them back to back, and I'm driving from one to the next, I packed for the summer, right? I pack for as a person who's going to be gone for the summer. Now, what that looks like for me is I have probably 8 bottoms, 8 outfits, right? 8 pants, skirts, shorts, dresses. And then I left one in an Airbnb. I left my favorite shorts in an Airbnb, and I haven't been able to replace them yet. Because the first pair I ordered, they're just Old Navy shorts, but Old Navy came out with some really comfortable 5-inch inseam shorts with a drawstring waist, not a button waist, or like elastic. And then like cargo pockets, but the pockets are kind of useless, but that look. And I left them. The first pair that I reordered, they were like, oh, sorry, after I ordered them. Oh, sorry, we actually are out of stock. And then I ordered another pair in a different color. They came, but they were really big. Old Navy sizing. The same size in a different color was really super big. So I don't, anyway. So when I pack for like a 12-week or a 6-month trip, 8 bottoms is my rule, right? 8 bottoms, 8 between dresses, skirts, shorts, pants. I have 8. And then I just throw in some shirts. But that's how I do it. If it was just a long weekend, I would just pack for the long weekend. If it was just a 4-day house sit, I would just pack for 4 days. It's easier to pack for longer term, I think, than shorter term. I think it's easier to pack for an 8-day sit than it is, like a summertime where you're going to be going around and around. I think that's easier than trying to pack for like just a weekend where if you forget one thing, you're in trouble. But for me, like if I forget one thing, like I got all summer to get one, right? Like my cord. So my cord for my laptop, I have this backup cord that's only 2 feet. Like, why would you even make a 2-foot laptop cord? Right? So I have this 2-foot cord, but I left my 6-footer, right? If it was just, so being without that 6-foot cord is an inconvenience, and I need to go to someplace and replace it. But when you're gone all summer, you're like, I got time to replace it, right? Whereas if you're only here for the weekend, you got to spend time replacing the things. I don't really need to spend time replacing things because I have time to replace them later. All right, I'm trying to get my light right. I feel like that was too yellow, and now I feel like this is a little too cold. I'm going between the light being too cold and too warm. Okay, hi Stephanie. The difference between a basic membership, standard membership, and premium membership. All right, the basic membership with Trusted House Sitters means that you have access to book sits, right? The second membership, premium, means that you also get access to their veterinary helpline. Most of your clients will have a veterinarian's office. If you're really afraid of an emergency happening while you're gone, while you're house sitting, and it's like the middle of the night, right? If you're really afraid of that, then that middle membership might be worth it. To me, they have a veterinarian, right? I don't know that it's worth it, but the middle membership gives you access to that veterinarian's helpline. I think so I don't see a real difference between the basic and the standard, okay? To me, the real choice is between the basic and the premium. What the premium gives you is sit cancellation insurance. So if you plan to fly to London for a house sit, that house sit gets canceled. Now you're in London because they tested positive for COVID at the last minute or whatever, right? Now or they fell and broke their hip. I had that, right? Not me, one of my clients, right? You're stuck now in London paying for your accommodation yourself. Trusted House Sitters premium membership gives you insurance. I believe it's up to $1,000 per canceled sit. So read the fine print and make sure it makes sense for you. Make sure it would be beneficial to you before you choose that membership. I think if you're going to road trip house sit, basic is fine. This is my opinion, not me telling you what to do. This is just my opinion. If you're going to road trip house sit and a canceled sit just means you get back in your car and you go home, okay, then I think the basic is fine. If you're going to fly someplace to house sit and a canceled sit means now you have to pay for a place to stay and arrange to get back home at a different time, then I think the premium membership is worth it, okay? That was a good question. So did we finish how to get a house sit? Get your membership, fill out your profile. If you need extra support, get house sitter school, and then apply for house sits, right? Like apply for house sits. Sometimes hear people like, oh, it didn't work. I couldn't get a house sit, right? You don't just apply for one house sit, right? You apply for house sits. You're competing with people like me who have 30, 40, 50 five-star reviews on Trusted House Sitters, right? When you're brand new, keep applying. Apply for house sits. Local might be a lot easier to get started than far away, right? So apply for your house sits. Hey, melanin and feminine, do you pay for your accommodation first and then get reimbursed? You talking about the canceled insurance? Yes, it's a reimbursement. That's a good question. So if your sit is canceled and you have to pay for your place to stay, you need to be able to pay for your accommodation, and then Trusted House Sitters will reimburse you up to a certain amount. Okay. That's a very good question. Yes, I always have a backup contingency plan, right? What if this house sit gets canceled? In San Francisco, I spent part of a winter house sitting in San Francisco, and not kidding, my backup plan, I had a 3 or 4 week house sit that I was building the rest of my winter around in San Francisco. And my plan was, if this house sit gets canceled, I'm getting on a plane and I'm flying to Mexico, right? It's cheaper to fly to Mexico and live in Mexico for 3-4 weeks than it would have been for me to find a place and stay in San Francisco. Now that was 2019, 2018, right? 2018 into 2019, that winter. It was cheaper for me. I did my Googles, right? What if this 3 or 4 week sit gets canceled? Where can I stay for 3 or 4 weeks? And where that I want to stay, because again, wintertime weather, right? Where can I stay that I want to stay? And how much is it going to cost me to get there and live? And it was cheaper at that time. Now, at that time, there was Interjet Airlines, which I think folded. I think Interjet Airlines went out of business during COVID. But it was cheaper to do that. So I always have a backup plan. Where's a hostel? Because, I don't mind staying in a hostel in a dorm room if I have to do things on the absolute cheapest. Do I need to go back home to Dover, Delaware? Right? Is there somebody else I could stay with? Could I just get another house sit? So that's what happened in San Francisco. My backup plan was to leave San Francisco, but what actually happened was I just booked another house sit, right? Because San Francisco is a place where there are always house sits, okay? Yes. Khaleesi says, I applied for 5 house sits and got 3. I started only applying for the ones that has 0 to 3 applicants. That's right. Yeah, so when you set an alert for a place, or for a date, or both, you'll be the first to find out that this exists. I have alerts set for places, I have alerts set for dates, and I have alerts set for a couple of just specific houses that I've seen that I want to house sit in later, right? Once you do that, when something pops up that hits that criteria, you get the alert right on your phone, and you can be the very first person. You don't have to show up to the house sit and see that it says 21 to 25 people have already applied, right? 0 to 3 is your best chance. I'm not saying don't apply for house sits when they have multiple people who've already applied, but it's always easier when you're the first. Okay, it's good to be first. Yeah, Janae, I miss them so much. There was a wonderful airline. The Canadians put me on to that. My Canadian house sitting clients were like, Interjet, this is how you get back and forth to the U.S. Quit fooling with American Airlines. Because on my first house sit in Mexico, American Airlines, my luggage didn't make the flight. And they were like, fly Interjet. You can fly almost anywhere direct in the U.S., but they don't exist anymore. I hope they come back. I don't know. Media Mama Chick, how long does it take to receive the reimbursement? Look on their website. I don't know that. Look on Trusted House Sitters' website. Hi, Yvonne McBride, Lit Life. Hi, ladies. I have a question. I just received my first offer for a paid house sit or pet sit, but I feel undercut. What's your scale? Girl, okay, let me say this. On Trusted House Sitters, all house sits are unpaid. All house sits are unpaid on Trusted House Sitters. Yvonne is talking about a house sit that she secured off of Trusted House Sitters in her own world. She reached out to her own contacts and got a house sit. So you're not going to like my answer, Yvonne. I just charge them what it's going to cost me to exist in that town for that amount of time, right? Which for me is just food. How much is food going to cost me per day? That's what I charge. That doesn't mean that is what you charge, right? There are house sitters who charge $75 or $100 a day, okay? In Mexico, I charge $20 a day, If it's a house sit that I'm getting on my own or through my network and not through trusted house sitters, and I'm charging them, I charge $20 a day. Okay, you're not gonna like that answer. But a lot of house sits in Mexico, right? They give you the car to use, and I feel like I'm getting my value in other ways. So it really depends. It depends on how much you want to do the house sit and what your expenses are going to be, and just what you feel like you want to make, right? I only charge based on what my expenses are going to be, because I that's how I do it. But that doesn't mean that's how you do it. You come up with your fee. I don't have an answer though. I don't have an answer. No, Cat, hey Cat, Rebloom Room. No, the premium membership doesn't mean that it's not the dual membership. So Trusted House Sitters has the 3 tiers of membership for house sitters. It has 3 tiers of memberships for clients, and then it has the dual membership where you're a house sitter and a client, but that's a different membership, not the premium. It's a combined. So they have a combined membership where you can bring in a house sitter to house sit for you while you're out house sitting for other people. So maybe you have a cat who doesn't care to leave the house, right? You want to go out and do some bopping. You house sit through Trusted House Sitters as a house sitter while bringing in a house sitter to take care of things for you, right? So there's a combined membership that is different from the premium membership. All right. Yes, and the canceled house sit has to be within 14 days of the trip. Yes. Yes. If they canceled it 3 weeks early, right? Like you can figure something else out. All right. Okay. So trusted house sitters, house sits are unpaid. You're getting free accommodation. Okay. You're getting that free place to stay. You're getting the insurance protection in case something goes wrong. And you're getting access to all of their clients, right? If you want to house sit for Labor Day, and you don't know where to house sit for Labor Day, right? How would you get a house sit if you didn't use a third party platform, right? If you have a way to get house sitting clients on a separate platform that's not Trusted House Sitters, right? Then you can charge. I do them occasionally, not occasionally. It used to be half and half. Since the pandemic, I think all of my house sits have been Trusted House Sitters house sits. Yeah. I think all of my house sits since the pandemic started have been Trusted House Sitters. Before pandemic, I was doing a half and half. So if you can get house sitting clients on your own and you want to take the risk, right? If you're okay without that insurance risk, now that this first pet died on me, I'm glad I'm glad I'm insured. But if you want to take the insurance risk on your own, then you can book house sitting clients on your own. Yeah. Yes, okay, so most people's pets, I didn't know this. I'm gonna tell you, I did not know this. Most people's pets sleep with them in the bed. This is another question you need to ask, okay? I didn't know this. I had 2 different dogs in my life, and none of them even got in the bed, let alone slept in the bed with me, okay? So this is a question you need to ask. If they say, well, she sleeps in the bed with me, but she won't sleep in the bed with you because you're a stranger, that's not true. Dogs don't care, right? They're like, this is my bed. I don't care who else is here, okay? So this is a thing that you need to know. This is why I'm saying house sitting is for a specific type of person. I don't know that, especially house sits with pets, right? If you're not a friend to animals, it's not going to work for you. These 2 dogs sleep in their own crates, so they didn't sleep with me. But the kitten slept right up on me, curled up in a little ball, right? And she told me that. The client told me that. They sleep in the crate. They're good sleepers. You just tell them to go, they'll get in. But she sleeps in the bed with me. Okay, right? So you have to be down for it. House sitting is not like, oh, I'll tolerate the animals while I'm there, right? You have to be a friend to animals because the reason they're not putting their pet in a kennel is so that they can be at home and be loved and be cared for. House sitting is pet sitting, and pet sitting is caring for the pets, not just tolerating them, right? So yeah, don't believe them. If they say, well, they sleep in the bed with us, but they won't sleep in the bed with you, that's not true. Those people just think that the pet is there for them. The pet is there for the bed, okay? And if they sleep in that bed, it doesn't matter who else is there. They don't care, okay? I didn't know that. But if they say the pet sleeps in the crate or the kennel, they do, right? These 2 dogs, they slept in their crate. I keep saying the word and they're looking at me like, am I supposed to get in? Yeah. All right. Yes, right. The dog I sat in Porto took up more of the bed than I do. Yes, that's their bed. Okay, as far as that pet is concerned, that's their bed. You're welcome to be there if you want, but that's their bed. Cut it out, please. You're about to get rowdy. Yeah. Yeah, so don't believe that, okay? And then you have to decide. Remember that not all pet sits are cats and dogs. There are fish, there are turtles, there are rabbits. There are lots of people who have rabbits I didn't know. In Nashville, I just house sat for the ladies with the chickens in the backyard, right? So there are different pets that do things that are different. And I saw another one that was just koi fish outside, right? I saw one in Hawaii. I don't remember if this second one was Hawaii or where it was. It must have been Florida because I've been looking at Florida sits very, very closely. It must have been Florida, another one where they just had fish in a pond outside, right? That's right, right? So your first concern has yes, you're there to enjoy the place, enjoy the city, right? And they know that. Clients know that, right? Especially if your profile says, "Hey, I love to travel and I'd love to come and visit your area," right? That's what I said. I love to travel. I love to house sit so that I can travel, and I'd love to come and visit the Fort Myers area, right? I've never been to this area, right? So they know that. You make it clear in your profile, you make it clear in your conversation, but as far as they're concerned, their main priority is that pet, right? That's their main priority. They don't care as much about the other stuff as the pet. Yeah. There are snakes. I must have that block because I don't know that I've ever seen a house sit that was only snakes. You do see a house sit that'll be a reptile and something else, like a snakes. You'll see like they. I think on Trusted House Sitters that they use the same icon for snakes and lizards. I think it's just a little reptile look. So I've seen them with other animals. I don't know if I've ever seen one that was only that. Yes, and then always do a Zoom call. So then how do you get a house sit? You book you pay for your house sitter, Trusted House Sitters membership. You fill out your profile. If you want some extra support, you take house sitter school, right? And then you apply for house sits. Once you get people or someone who is like, "Hey, I'd love to have a conversation with you about house sitting for me," you get on a call, Zoom call, FaceTime, whatever, right? You get on a call with them. Sometimes it's just a phone call. Sometimes it's a video call. You get on I usually just let them tell me how they want to do it. I give them a couple options, right? If you want to do Zoom or whatever or whatever. But sometimes it's just a phone call. But you have a conversation with them, and this is where you find out the things that might make or break your decision, right? This is the time when you ask, do they sleep in the bed with you? This is the time when you ask, is anybody else coming to the house, right? Yeah. Yes. So you get on a call with them. You can see the house. You can see the pictures of the house. I don't rely on the Zoom call to tell me the status of their house. I rely on previous house sitters. I don't apply for house sits if they have not had house sitters before. That's another thing that Trusted House Sitters does, right? That getting a house sit on your own is not going to do. You have had someone else stay in that home and leave a review. Okay? So when you get a house sit on your own, you're on your own. Good luck, right? I hope it's what you expect. When you get a house sit with Trusted House Sitters, somebody has already stayed there and has already given a review of that house sit. Now, remember, house sitters tend to be people who are like nice and they don't like to say negative things on a platform like Trusted House Sitters. So one of the red flags is if they've had house sitters but nobody's left them a review, that's a red flag. Other than that, you can pretty much take a review read it with a critical eye, right? Read that review and make sure it sounds like this person really enjoyed the house sit and really enjoyed the pet and really enjoyed the home and really enjoyed the city. Yeah. The reviews from the other people are worth the price of membership from Trusted House Sitters. Having someone already leave a review and tell you what's up, that's worth the Trusted House Sitters membership all on its own. I don't apply for house sits that don't have reviews and don't have amazing, glowing 5-star reviews. I don't do it. I lucked into a great one in Tampa last summer. So I did. The Tampa house sit that I did last summer, which was all summer, that one was she was brand new to Trusted House Sitters. But other than that, I don't do it. Yes, owners can see the reviews. That's why I said that everyone can see it. It's so that's why I say that house sitters are nice people. So you have to read the review with a critical eye. If it doesn't sound effusive, I loved it. It was amazing. The dog is the best. The client was really communicative and really wonderful and really kind, right? If it's not all of that, then read it with a critical eye, and you're going to have to try to figure out read between the lines, right? You're going to have to try to figure out how to read between the lines. If you don't see, you know, if the review is not overflowing with praise for the house sit, read between the lines. Okay, that's what I think. That's probably the easiest answer as to why I house sit so much with trusted house sitters when I have clients who would pay me off of the platform, because I get access to. I got them, LG and LA. Chill, relax. Nothing is urgent. Remember that I live an entire life where nothing is urgent. Okay, so I saw the nude HD best adult dating site post, and I removed it from the chat. Okay, nothing is urgent. We're just going to relax and chill. It's not that those comments can't hurt you. Those comments can't hurt us. Yes. Halisi, one beautiful home that I wanted. The paragraph started with, under no circumstances. And she said, that's all I needed to be a no thank you. That's right, right? Does this person sound like somebody you want to take care of their responsibilities for? Do they sound like they're going to be a handful, right? Think about what you are going to enjoy. If you're not getting paid to house sit, right? If you're just getting the free accommodation, then at least make sure that you're going to actually enjoy it, right? It's not going to feel like crazy work, right? Like, this person is just too much. I have had conversations with people. I can think of one in particular in London. Had a conversation with him, and I was like, no, he's too fussy. He's too fussy. He's not going to be satisfied with anything that I do, any way that I do it, right? So I was just like, I'm no longer available for the dates. It was nice talking with you. I'm no longer available. I know you'll find a wonderful sitter. Enjoy your trip, right? It's easy to get yourself to turn yourself into a no with people, right? Because your calendar is your calendar, and they don't know. They don't know what you're doing and what you're not doing. Amanda, I'm on the other side at the moment. I have my first house sitter coming and staying in my home, so I don't have any reviews yet. It's an interesting experience leaving your home to a stranger. I can't imagine how scary it is. And do you have pets, Amanda? I can't imagine how scary it is for people, especially in the very beginning. Mostly with brand new clients, so the Tampa client last year, she was more concerned about, am I doing things right? She seemed to be less concerned. Well, I'll say this. I have a lot of reviews, and I was an ambassador for Trusted House Sitters in 2020. So that takes me far. That takes a lot of the stress and worry, I think, away from the client. So she was more concerned with, are we doing this right? Are you okay? Are you happy? Am I supposed to give you, am I supposed to buy you food, right? I don't know, I don't know how to do this. That was more of her concern. But so for you, for house sitting clients, okay, Amanda has a dog. For you, then I would say the same. Lean on those reviews. If they don't have reviews praising them effusively, if they don't sound like the best thing in the world, the best person to ever care for a pet, then pass. Find the right person, right? Now, I understand time is of the essence. If you're planning a trip, you need to find somebody when you can find somebody. But I think that there's a level of comfort that my clients have just based on my reviews, right? That they're like, okay, she's good. We're good at this. My Raleigh lady, she took me to the cat had its own bathroom with the litter box, right? And she was like, in the litter box, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I know, I got it. I know how to do the litter box. And she was like, that's right. I read your reviews. That's right. I read your reviews. You know what you're doing. And that does give people a lot of comfort. So try to pick house sitters, just like I pick clients with great reviews, pick house sitters with great reviews to make it a little more helpful, to give you a little more level of comfort. And then some of it, you're just not going to feel comfortable until you've done it and it's been good and you've come back, right? It's until you've experienced the whole situation for the first time, you're just going to stay a little nervous. It makes sense. It makes sense, right? But house sitters tend to be people who just want to help you enjoy your trip while they enjoy their travel, right? That's all I want. I want to enjoy my travel, and I want you to live out your travel dreams as well. You know, this family is on a boat somewhere, which is why she doesn't have reception. They're on a boat to some little island off of Florida. I don't know, right? I want her to enjoy her trip. I want to enjoy my time here, which mostly for me is just like ordering food. I don't even know that I'm going to, she was like, she gave me a list of beaches. She was like, Sanibel is better than Fort Myers Beach or whatever. I was like, thank you. I wrote it down, but I was like, I don't even know if I'm leaving the house, right? So I don't know. Yeah, so you come up with your rules. Taniqua says, I don't do elderly pets. I like a fenced-in backyard, and I want the pet freshly bathed. I have done elderly pets, and I've just been on my, I'll do a house sit with an elderly pet if the client seems to understand that something could happen, right? I've had 2 different clients with 2 different very old dogs. One was 19, and the other was close, 17, 18 maybe, Valentine and Fritz. And they both said to me in the conversation, I'm a little nervous that she's going to take, he or she, Fritz was a he, is going to take this opportunity to go ahead and die while I'm gone, right? They both said this, okay? So now I don't feel like they're going to be like, what did you do to my dog? If they come back and their dog is dead. Now, both of those dogs were stubborn, right? And they had something left. They had some life left in them. So I don't mind doing an elderly dog as long as they seem to be conscious of the fact that their dog is very elderly and anything could happen, right? That dog may just decide, okay, she's gone, let me go ahead and go, slip away, right? I don't know if dogs would think like that, but I want the client to be able to think like that. I prefer elderly dogs to puppies, let me tell you, because I just want to take naps. Elderly dogs like to take naps, whereas puppies, shoo, right? I don't mind an unfenced yard if I'm in the mood to walk. Now, here in Southern Florida, in August, right? Same reason I don't do high-rise house sits in the summer. I don't want to have to go out and take this dog on a walk. There are times and places where I'm like, oh, that would be wonderful, right? Some of my Mexico house sits in Lake Chapala. It's a wonderful place to walk a dog, right? So I do it. Or one of my Lake Chapala clients gave me the golf cart, and she's like, here's how you walk the dogs. You get in the golf cart, and you put them out, and then you just drive down the road in the golf cart, and they chase you, right? So my tolerance for walking dogs varies by climate and season. Yeah. Oh, they're super chill. They're super chill. Yes, they are. So listen, I'll take an elderly pet over a puppy any day. So this kitten happened after I agreed to house sit. After I agreed to house sit, they went and got a kitten. She called me and told me, or texted me and told me right away. And she was like, are you still okay with that? And I was like, sure, because as far as I know, kittens aren't a whole lot more trouble than adult cats. And adult cats are my favorite thing to house sit, right? Adult cats, they don't care what you do. They don't care, right? Feed them, clean out the litter box a couple times, you were good to go. Yes, right? So walking a dog in the summertime doesn't look the same for different people. So always ask questions, right? If you have questions, ask questions. This is what that call is for. Now, lately, I have seen an uptick in clients just confirming me without talking to me. The last house sit in, where did I just come from? Daytona. He confirmed, I applied for the house sit and he hit confirm without speaking to me. Now, I had 2 choices. Either say, thanks for the confirmation. I would love to talk with you first though, or just confirm, right? Now that I read over the posting a couple more times, I didn't have any questions. They had reviews, they were very clear. They had had lots and lots and lots of house sitters. They're used to this. So I just hit confirm and didn't have a conversation with them. But if you have questions, ask questions. I'm not sure why I'm seeing more people confirming before talking to me. I don't know if it's just my number, right? I don't know if it's just that because I'm only applying for house sitter clients who already have had a house sitter and I have a zillion reviews. I don't know if they just are at a point where they're like, we don't need to talk, right? I've done a house sit with an incontinent dog too, Tori Prophet Mother. My favorite had two elderly dogs. My favorite professor had two elderly dogs. One was blind and the other couldn't control his bladder. Yes, so Fritz was 19. He peed at any time, right? So we alternated. I didn't keep the diaper. I don't remember why I didn't keep the diaper on him at all times, but we alternated. So mostly I just spent the day laying down newspaper and mopping the floor. But she was a woman who I actually knew. Like I said, in Lake Chapala, I have a lot of friends in their 70s and 80s. I actually knew her. I house sat for her friends. And so so I knew her. Like we had hung out, we'd had dinner and everything. And so I had and she was she was in her 80s. Her partner had died. And she was going to the Hot Air Balloon Festival in New Mexico to live her dreams, right? She said this was a thing on her bucket list. So I'm taking that house sit. Thank you. I'm taking that house sit, right? When she said, I want to fulfill some things on my bucket list while I'm still here, I'm taking it. So Fritz is incontinent, okay, we're going to roll with it. That's what I'm saying. House sitters tend to be people who are a little more go with the flow, but you need to know what to ask before you can be okay going with the flow. There's only so much flow you can go with, right? You need to ask the right questions. All right, go away, Lawrence. Like, why would you come in here if you don't like the topic? Just go. You don't have to stay. Let me tell you about this. Life is yours. You are in control of your life. You don't have to tolerate things that you don't like. I don't tolerate things that if I don't want to do it, I don't do it. If I don't want to deal with it, I don't deal with it. If I don't like it, I don't listen. All right? So instead of banning you from the chat, I'm going to tell you, you have agency over your life. You have control over what you take in and don't take in. The things that you take into your brain, right, dictate who you are and how you feel. If you're taking in stuff that's not feeding you, change that. Instead of complaining. Instead of coming here complaining about things, fix it. Life is too short to be somewhere grumpy and complaining about stuff that you don't like. Fix it. All right? Some people don't know that you are the person who has the agency, right? You live in situations where you don't have the power, and it's hard to recognize a situation where you do have the power. I'm telling you right now, you have the power. If anybody needs to hear that message, you have the power. Don't stay in situations that are not feeding you. Don't stay in situations where you don't feel comfortable, where you don't feel right, where it's not for you. If it ain't for you, it's not for you. I started this video talking about things that people who this is not for. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Don't stick around. Feed your mind the things that you need for yourself, for your peace of mind. I know peace of mind is possible. I know it's possible, right? We have messaging that it is what it is, and life is what it is, and you can't, right? That's not true. That's not true. I'm not saying that things don't happen, and right? I'm not saying you control everything. But I'm saying you have agency over your life. That's for everybody, okay? That's for everybody. The time when we just sat back and took it, those days are over. We don't do that anymore, okay? We don't do that anymore. Change it. Good morning, Nene Love. Your name is new. Welcome. Hi. All right? That's what we do over here. If nothing else, that's what we do over here. Good morning, y'all. Okay. All right. So we've talked about, how do I get started? Okay. Adele Tara, hello. How do you get started with house sitting? Get your membership to a platform like Trusted House Sitters, okay? So I've linked to the Trusted House Sitters membership here in the description of this video. All right, I've linked to Trusted House Sitters also in my new House Sitter Toolkit, which is a list of resources for aspiring and current house sitters, right? So get your new House Sitter Toolkit and get your membership to Trusted House Sitters, okay? Number one. Number two, fill out your profile thoroughly, okay? Thoroughly. You have to be really open. These are people who are trusting you in their home with their pets while they're gone. Thorough profile. Explain. Let them know who you are, what you like to do, where you like to go. If you have experience with pets, caring for animals, tell them. Even if it's, when my mom goes on vacation, I watch her little feisty terrier, right? I used to watch BB, my mom's little feisty terrier, right? Put that information in your profile, okay? Don't discount anything as experience. Sometimes people will be like, well, I did used to volunteer at the Humane Society. I'm like, clients would love that. Write that out, right? Thorough profile. If you need extra support, get House Sitter School. Okay, if you download the new House Sitter Toolkit, you'll see the link to House Sitter School. If you need someone to actually walk you through on video, not in person, if you want someone on video to actually walk you through the process of setting up your profile, get House Sitter School. If you're cool with setting up your own profile, you don't need House Sitter School, okay? Number 4, apply for house sits. Apply for house sits on Trusted House Sitters, not just a house sit that you like, okay? When you're new, it's gonna take a while for you to gain, it may take a while to gain some traction, maybe not, right? Depends on where you are in the world. If you live in Atlanta, Northern California, Southern California, DC, New York area, Denver, Colorado, you may be able to pick up a house sit like that. Or if your first application is for a house sit someplace like London where there is a plethora of house sits, you may be good to go. All right? Apply, Trusted House Sitters, profile, House Sitter School, maybe, right? Then apply for house sits. That's how you get started. That's how you get started, okay? And then Labor Day, you could be chilling in somebody's pool or however you want to spend your Labor Day. I don't want to tell y'all how to, after telling us that we have agency over our lives, I don't want to dictate what your Labor Day looks like, okay? But that's what I think mine will look like. I actually don't have a Labor Day house sit. I house sit here, I go away, and then I come back and house sit at this exact same house again. I know, that's strange. Go away, come back, right? They're going away for 2 blocks of time. And I believe that after August 28th, I'm a free bird. And when is Labor Day? Oh, I have a full extra week. September 5th is Labor Day. So I don't have any plans. I'm open. I'm still looking for a Labor Day house sit. But I would like it to be closer to Savannah, Georgia. Or I would actually want it to be in Savannah, Georgia, which is why I don't have one, because I'm being really picky. I want a house sit in Savannah with a pool. Or maybe like, what's it called? The beach area? Somewhere around there. That's what I would like. Okay. Good. Charmin, Leon, didn't take me long to get a house sit. Yes, it was in Atlanta. Next one coming soon in San Francisco. Congratulations. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Yes, Atlanta is a place. So Atlanta recently just had a boom in house sits available. Especially, well, Atlanta already is a region, right? It's already, but if you're willing to go around a little bit, yes. Yes, Atlanta is a place where you can house sit all year long, I think. You see house sits in the area all day long. All right? Samantha, hi Samantha. I would love to hear about your first house sit experience and what that was like doing it for the first time. I'll tell you. So, in 2015, I quit my job as a hospital pharmacy technician to travel for 1 full year on savings. I came back and had like 30 some dollars in my bank account, so I had to get a job. And I was like, actually, I don't want to get a job. How can I travel with no money? I Googled literally, how can I travel with no money? And Google was like, you should be a house sitter. They sent me to a blog post from a woman named Nora Dunn, who is the professional hobo on the internet. And Nora Dunn was a woman in her 30s, I think, at the time, who had house sat. A lot of house sitting blog posts and videos were 21-year-olds, right? Australians, like 20, or retirees. But Nora was close to my age. I was 42 by then. Nora was close to my age. She was in her 30s, I think. And so I believed her. I trusted her when she said, house sitting, it works. It's a real thing. So I got my Trusted House Sitters membership, and then I looked for house sits that I wanted, and I never applied for one. I didn't apply for a house sit with that membership. At some point, I just convinced myself that it wasn't worth it. It wasn't going to work, right? No, people, I live in America. America is a very segregated place. People are not going to book a black house sitter in the houses that are like, right? The houses that I want to stay in, and I just didn't apply. I didn't see anyone black house sitting. Not one person, not one black person. I couldn't find a blog post, a website, a YouTube video, what do we have? Instagram video. I couldn't find one black person house sitting. So I didn't apply for house sits. I was in Wilmington, Delaware. I was in Wilmington, Delaware. Actually, I get this story so confused, but I lived in Dover. But the house with my parents, I moved back in with my parents after this year of travel. I moved in with my parents after the year of travel. But before I left, I had lived in Wilmington. A woman in Delaware reached out to me because on Trusted House Sitters, they can see who is available in the region to house sit for them. So she reached out to me. And she was like, hi, I see you're in the area. I have a last minute emergency. My family's going to Disney World. My sister, brother-in-law, nieces, nephews, my parents, I want to go with them. Can you stay and take care of my cats? This woman's house was like walking distance from the house that I'd lived in Wilmington. But I wasn't in Wilmington at the time. I was in Dover. Anyway, so I said, okay, white woman. She had 2 cats. She was a very timid woman. And her cats were very timid and skittish. And so I hardly saw the cats. I think I house sat for 4 days, right? Because it took me a whole day to figure out how to get on the internet. Her password, I don't know. I remember it taking me a whole day to get on the internet. But I house sat there for 4 days. I hardly saw the cats. I would put the food out in the water. And then if I'd go in the bathroom or something, I would hear them go and eat, right? So I'm like, this is a piece of cake. It was a regular house. She lived in a regular house with no pool, right? But it was comfortable and clean and fine. I think I did my own I did my own grocery shopping. And I was like, oh, this is house sitting. Okay, I can do that, right? I had no experience with cats. And that's when I realized cats are so easy. I'm like, wait. They take care of themselves, basically. It's not like a dog where you have to walk them. And nowadays, cats even have automatic feeders and water fountains, and some cats have a little cat door. Like, you really don't have to do anything with some cats. Anyway, I was like, this is pretty chill. Like, this could have been anywhere in the country. At the time, I was just thinking about house sitting in the U.S. I could have been anywhere in the country, even though I was just in Wilmington, Delaware. I was like, oh, well, let's see where else. So then I got a nice house sit in Boston in a beautiful apartment with a really luxury cat. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but that was a luxury cat, right? Got a house sit in Washington, D.C. with a dog, and we did some walking. D.C. is one of my favorite cities. We got to do a lot of walking. I did some U.S. house sits that were driving or bus or train distance from my house. And then my first international house sit was near Lake Chapala, Mexico. I'd never heard of Lake Chapala, Mexico, but I saw the house sit. The house looked fine. The people seemed really nice. And I Googled it, and it wasn't far from Guadalajara Airport. And they told me they would come to the airport to pick me up. So I took it, and that changed everything for me. Once I house sat in Mexico, I was like, this can take me around the world, right? So those were my beginning. That was my intro into house sitting. That was a lot. But that was my intro into house sitting. No turning back. I don't still house sit because I have to, right? At that point, I was doing virtual assistant work. So house sitting, I could not afford to live anywhere. Either I was with my parents or that was it. I could not afford to go anywhere if it hadn't been for house sitting. My virtual assistant business was failing, right? So house sitting was the only way I could afford to be anywhere other than Dover, Delaware. I had the travel was in me, and I knew I needed to be places. So house sitting at the time was the way I could do it. But I don't have to now. I don't have to house sit now. I do it because I really like it. I do it because I really like it. Yes, you pay for your own flight. You pay for your own transportation, right? So you get yourself to the house sit and to the house sit. People picking you up at the airport or the bus station or the train station is pretty rare because they're getting ready for their own trip, right? Or sometimes they're already gone. This family was gone. I think they probably left around 9 or 10 in the morning. I didn't get here till 3 in the afternoon, right? 4, I don't know what time. I got here in the afternoon, right? So, yes, you pay for your own transportation. You pay for your own food. Yes, you pay to live and do things. Yes, that's right. Seashell Beauty 23, this is the live I needed. I tried to book 13 different sits and nothing. Gonna rewatch this. Okay, yes, so you need to make sure that your profile is very clear. Get some pictures of you or to do a video of yourself, like no mystery. There can be no mystery. You cannot appear to be a mysterious person. They have to feel like they know you. I think when people see my profile pictures and read my profile and my reviews, it tells them, oh, Stephanie, she's a pretty bubbly person. She loves taking time out of her day to take pictures of your pets to send them. I consider myself like the best pet photographer in the history of pet photographers. I pride myself on it, right? I tell them how I can do this. I think sometimes people might have a question like, how can you house? Most house sitters are either 75, retired, right, or like 21 with no job. How can you afford to house sit? So I tell them, sometimes I just say, I work from my laptop. That's all they really care about, if they care about that. Yeah, and make no mystery. Let them feel like they know you through reading your profile. It really is helpful. Your profile plus the pitch email. That pitch email that I put in the new house sitter toolkit is gold. It is the house sit getting tool, okay? So use that, make it yourself, make it your own. It sounds like me, so you need to fix the wording to sound like you, right? But that is gold. Patricia says, how do you get the key? It depends. Nowadays, a lot of homes don't have keys. They'll just give you a code. This lady gave me the code, right? Sometimes they're here to give you the key. Sometimes, and a lot of people have lock boxes, which I didn't know, right? A lot of people have like a realtor lock box, and they'll just lock the box out somewhere with the key and give you the code to that. Those are the ways that I've gotten keys, right? Yeah, and then of course, if they're here, they just give it to you. But nowadays, a lot of people don't have keys. This last Airbnb, it wasn't a house sit, but the last Airbnb, I didn't even need a code. I just needed an app called August. I got an app called August, and when I would go to the door, I would just, boop, hit the thing that says unlock door, and it would unlock the door. All right? It's a new day out here. It's a new day, but mostly door code. Most people have a door code nowadays. It's different, yeah. Times are changing, right? Times are changing. Even in the 6 years I've been house sitting, 2016? Yeah, 6 years I've been house sitting. Things have really changed, right? Because it used to be about the key. That first house sit, she told me to leave the key in the house, okay? And then she said, oh, right after I'm leaving, she says, actually, I thought my mom had my door key. I'm with my mom. We're coming home from the airport. I thought she had my door key. She doesn't have it. Leave my key in the mailbox. I'm like, child, I'm gone. That key is in the house, right? Now, do you want me to call a locksmith for you, right? What you gonna do? Turns out she had to go back to her parents' house to get her door key, right? But I can't remember the last time I actually had a key for a house sit. Oh, Raleigh, just in Raleigh. So she had a door code, but she gave me a key to the pool. The community, she lived in a townhouse community, and the community had a community pool, but you needed the key fob. It wasn't a key. You needed the key fob to get into the pool. Don't you know, I left and took it with me because I was so used to not having a key that I took the key fob with me. I had to FedEx the key fob from Nashville back to Raleigh to get it to her, right? Yeah, but I can't remember the last time I had a house sit with the key, like the key to the house. It's a new day. Times are different, right? It makes it really helpful. It also means that everyone has a door camera and they know when you're coming and going, which I think is a new thing for house sitting too, right? They know what you're doing. And so like in Nashville, I told y'all I tried to replace my shorts and I got some packages delivered, right? They see that. No big deal. It's not a problem. I'm not saying it as in it's a problem. I'm just saying it as in they see things that 6 years ago with house sitting, They would never have known that I got packages delivered while I was there. That's all. Hi, Tracy. How you doing? I want to help my 18-year-old daughter into house sitting. Yes, she loves to travel and still trying to figure out life. Yes, I've turned her on to you. Any recommendations? My recommendations for an 18-year-old, she's going to just need to be clear how responsible she is, and she's going to need someone to write her a letter of reference just saying she's a responsible person. I'm thinking about me leaving an 18-year-old in charge of my stuff, right? People love the fact that I'm in my 40s. They love it, right? Uh, so for what would it need? What would I need for an 18-year-old? I would just need somebody I would need some stories. You got to tell me stories of you being responsible. In your profile, in your letters of reference, I need to know that you're a responsible person. And then again, like with everything else, after she gets a couple of reviews, it'll be much easier. So starting locally, I don't remember where y'all lived. Have her start locally, wherever she is. It's always easier to trust a local person than somebody who's got to fly in or drive in, right? So if she can start locally and get some solid letters of recommendation that say she is reliable and wonderful, and she's a friend to animals, right? She is the Black Cinderella. I always tell people I'm the Black Cinderella. People like Rashida, sometimes when Rashida and I are on calls and there'll be birds chirping or whatever, she's like, oh my gosh, what is that? I'm like, Rashida, they're birds, okay? And they like me. I'm the Black Cinderella. Okay, in Atlanta, oh yeah. So she can find she will find lots of house sits. She's just going to need to make sure that she's making it clear. Because even, I don't know that your profile says how old you are, but her picture is going to say, I'm a youngster. So just have her make sure that she is very clear in her profile that she's a reliable person, and give some examples of when she has been a reliable, trustworthy person. In the beginning, my letter started off with, I'm a U.S. Army veteran, because people love that about me, right? So lead with the top, the headline. Have her lead with that headline. Okay? All right. Now, going with her for her first sit is not going to be super helpful, right? If Tracy uses her profile, if Tracy uses her own profile to book a house sit and then takes her daughter, that's not helping the daughter. Yeah, so she's going to need to do it on her own. If you want to, hey Tracy, if you want to house sit with her, you can, right? But she's going to need to book this on her own profile. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be helpful for you to, okay, it does state your age. Thank you, Chloe. She needs a house sit on her own profile, so you booking a house sit is not going to help. Now, if she says, I'm house sitting with my mom, I also wouldn't do that. I'd be like, if you need your mom to house sit with you, why don't I just book somebody who can house sit on her own? Right? There's a difference between I house it with my mom because we like to travel together, and I house it with my mom because I'm 18 and I need you to trust me. Think about what would it take for you to leave an 18-year-old in charge of your home? If she needed her mom to be there to look responsible, that's not going to help. I think the right answer is she's got to address it head on, right? Yes. Okay, I'm young. Here are some examples of me being responsible. She can do it. She can do it. And then 1 or 2 reviews, and it'll probably never be a problem anymore, right? 1 or 2 reviews, and she's off. Okay, good. No, Adele, I see your question. Am I too old now? You're about to be 60, is that what you said? No. No, most house sitters are over 65. In America, anyway. Most American house sitters are retirement age. Because who else has the time, right? Who else has the time to travel but retirees in America, the way our vacation time is set up? So no, you're a little young for the average house sitter. I'm guessing. You're probably a little younger than average. At 59, right? I'm younger than average, right? So I'm 48. So no, you're not too old. Most house sitters are 65 or older in the United States. That's just how things are for now. We're making some changes. We're making some changes. Y'all in this chat are lowering that that age amount. Mary, does it make sense to join Trusted House Sitters if the island I'm interested in doesn't appear to have regular house sits? Is it possible to promote and grow house sits there? It's probably best. I would guess if you're looking for a specific place and you don't see houses there, like Aruba, it's probably better to make contacts in Aruba. Like seriously, join Facebook communities for expats in Aruba or retirees in Aruba and let them know that you're a house sitter who's available. Okay? I would guess. If you don't see a presence of trusted house sitters, house sits there, it's probably better. It will probably be easier for you to just make connections in that place. And Facebook communities are where people do these kinds of things, right? Now, you're going to be running all of the risks that we've talked about. Not having the reviews, the dog's sitting right under my feet, not having the reviews to go by, not having the insurance. Okay, the other part of your question, is it possible to promote and grow house sitting in a different region? Yes, house sitting is expanding, right? In 2016, house sitting in Atlanta wasn't a thing, right? House sitting in, where else? Austin, Texas. You didn't see them, right? Now it's commonplace. Anybody could book one there, almost, you know. So yes, it's possible. How? I don't know. The Trusted House Sitters marketing department needs to get on some of these places. Yeah. Okay. Did I answer that for you, Mary? House sits through Trusted House Sitters are unpaid. House sits through Trusted House Sitters are unpaid. You're getting free accommodation. If you are doing a house sit that you booked on your own and they are paying you, y'all decide. You get paid however y'all decide. Trusted house sits are unpaid, okay? I'm house sitting sometimes in countries where I'm not legally allowed to work, right? And so there's no platform that will let you house sit out of your country for money. You're not legally allowed to work there if you don't have a work visa there, right? So no platform is going to let you house sit out of your country for money. Okay, so the Trusted house sits are unpaid. You're welcome, Patricia. You're welcome. All right, how do we do? Hour and a half? Dogs calm down. So this is a recurring pattern, right? Dogs start off so rowdy during the live stream, and then they just pass out and go to sleep. I didn't get to walk them. My plan was to walk them and wear them out, but then the repairman came and ruined our plans and ruined our day. Okay? All right, so what else do I need to update you on before we go? Oh, Exodus Summit 2022 is happening, and tickets will be going on sale very, very, very soon, okay? Exodus Summit 2022 tickets are not on sale yet. They're not available for purchase yet, but it won't be long, okay? So remember that. Remember that, okay? Tickets are going to be going on sale very, very soon. If you're in the Exodus Summit Facebook community, you'll see the announcement for the virtual summit. There's already a video. Rashida and I went live in the community yesterday. If you have the Work From Anywhere toolkit, or if you get emails from us, right, you'll get email information when it's time to buy your tickets soon. Okay? Very, very soon. All right? The dates for the Exodus Summit 2022 are, good question, October 7th through 10th, right? October 7th will be a partial, probably not a full day, that's a Friday. 8th, 9th are Saturday and Sunday. 10th is a Monday, but 10th is Columbus Day. So some of you will not have work obligations on that day, on the final day of the summit. Some of you will have obligations and you won't care, okay, to do them on the 10th of October. So that's when Exodus Summit 2022 is happening. Third year of our virtual summit for Black women planning their sabbatical or their move abroad. The theme of this year's summit is Move Abroad Money, okay? This year, we're showing you where you will get the money to move abroad, okay? That's what we're doing this year, okay? We're not fooling around. We're not worried with inspiring you, okay? We're not worried. We're past the point of inspiration, okay? Where is the money? That is what we're talking about this summit. Okay, we're bringing in some speakers to talk specifically about ways that they either make money remotely, make money online, have work jobs that they do out of the country, whatever, okay? Move abroad money, okay? How do you join? There's no place to buy your ticket for the summit yet, okay? But it will come out very soon, and the announcements will happen in the Exodus Summit Facebook community, in your email inbox if you've ever gotten an email from me or Rashida or from the Exodus Summit, right? So if you have the new House Sitter Toolkit, you'll get an email announcement from me when it's time. Here on the channel, okay? But I do think, let me give you this link. Let me give you the link to the Exodus Summit newsletter, which I believe is exodussummit.com/newsletter. Let me double check it. So that you do get on our newsletter so that you don't miss the announcement. Okay? Don't miss your tickets to Exodus Summit 2022. .com/newsletter. ExodusSummit.com/newsletter. Let me look at that and see if it's right. Yes. I recommend that you go ahead, excuse me, I recommend that you go ahead and get yourself on this newsletter today, okay? Because tickets are going on sale very, 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 very soon. And some of you, this early bird bonus, you're going to want to snatch it up, okay? Okay. Hi, Patricia. Income low, side hustle suggestions to getting started. Oh, okay, so we have some gig type talks coming for the summit, some like side work, side hustle type talks. We have some investment talks. We have some other talks. Okay, so we have all different types of money conversations happening during the summit. If you're asking me right now, what is the easiest way to get side money, being a native English speaker, I would say tutoring English online through a platform like Cambly is probably the easiest way to get started, not the biggest money, $10, $12 an hour, right? But if you're talking about, can I get started this week and get a paycheck on Monday, or I think they pay out on Mondays, right? Tutoring English online with Cambly is probably the easiest way to get started. I have a video about that on my channel, Cambly, Cambly. But that's not necessarily the best answer. The best answer depends on your skill set, what you do and what you want to do. So these are the things that we're going to cover in the virtual summit, okay? The Exodus Summit is covering this for you, for us, okay? But my short answer, Cambly, if you're looking for like the quickest way to get started, right? But not Cambly, I'm telling you, Cambly is not the best money maker. $10 or $12 an hour is what you're making with Cambly. But there are people who love it because you decide when you want to work and when you don't, right? And you're tutoring people in English. And like being a house sitter, you're helping people live out their dreams. Helping people learn to speak English and communicate in English is a step towards them living their dreams, right? You get to be a part of that. One of the Cambly videos on their own channel is about a man who tutored, or I think it was a woman, someone tutored a man for years from no English. He was a Turkish man, from no English to being fluent in English to the point where he became a pilot for Turkish Airlines. Like, imagine what that changed in his life and his family's entire trajectory. Teaching that man English over the course of a few years means he goes from whatever his income was at the time to whatever his income is as a pilot, and how that changes his family's life, right? So tutoring English, Kim, are you here? Kim tutors with Cambly. It's a really good thing. It's on top of it being a way that you can make income to live out whatever you need, right? It's just a good, helpful thing to do. Okay. Kiki, finish your sentence. I can speak. Okay, good. Stephanie White just completed my video application with Cambly, waiting for approval. Very good. I'm glad. Cambly is One of the platforms where it doesn't require you to have the teaching English as a foreign language certificate. So that makes it really a fast company to get started with. The dog is sitting right under my feet and I'm trying to adjust, but I don't want to wake him up too much. I don't want to move him. We need him to stay where he is. All right, good. I'm glad. Yes. Okay, so those are my answers. Yes, Cambly is. Thank you. Cambly is there are two Camblys basically. There's Cambly and Cambly Kids. So on Cambly, you're going to be tutoring adults. Or I think they actually start Cambly at 12, but you can select to tutor adults. Cambly Kids is for the children. Cambly Kids pays a little more, but you have to be more animated because kids. You have to be like cup, right? So it's two different things. Pen, this is a pen. I write with my pen. That's Cambly Kids. Pays a little more. Yeah, so I have a video on it. I would recommend that you go ahead and watch the video on my channel about Cambly if anybody's interested in that. Go ahead and watch the video. It's an easy or a fast, I don't want to say easy, it's a fast way to get started is what I mean. It can be very quick starting. You do your application, a couple of days later you're tutoring people. And they have help to help you, right? You're not just like, I don't know what to do now. Like what? No, they have resources to help you and conversation tools to help you, okay? Do I see house sitting as a long-term thing? Is it tiring bopping around for years? Yes and yes. So it is tiring bopping around for years and years, which is why I think I'll have an apartment in Costa Rica this winter. And that'll be my place. Hopefully I'll be in Costa Rica for 3 or 4 years, right? That will be where I live for a while I'm moving into this next stage of life. But I'll still house sit, right? Because I'm still going to want to take vacations. Even when I live in Costa Rica, I'm going to want to take vacations, and I'm still going to house sit. Now that I know house sitting, I don't see turning back. I can't imagine, right? Like I had 3 days in between house sits from Daytona to here. And don't you know I paid to stay in an Airbnb? What? Who pays for a place to stay? Not me. I paid to stay in an Airbnb, y'all. Right? I think I will still continue to house sit. But I will also find a more long-term solution. Bopping around for 6 years has been wonderful. 7 years. It's been wonderful. I loved it, right? I am ready to get my own place with my own things. But I will still house sit. I don't see not house sitting. I don't see it. I'll come visit. Hi, Nelise. I'll come visit. Yeah, I'll come visit. Oh, good. Southern Rose Tia D. So she's talking about Cambly and tutoring people in English. I set my conversation level for intermediate, okay, instead of beginner, all right? And I get people at varying speaking levels. It's a fun side hustle. Yes, right? Very good. I'm glad. We have quite a few people here who do it because, like I said, you're a native English speaker. You have the tools already. And they don't require a teaching certification because you're more tutoring and it's different. It's not like a teacher thing. Yeah, good. I'm glad. Yeah, we have a handful of women here who are tutoring on Cambly. Good. Yes, me house sitting with my kid, or maybe kids. Yes. I didn't like it. I didn't like it, Sonia. I know you were not feeling pain. I was like, let me see if I can find a house sit for 3 days in the middle of the week. I was like, oh, but let me tell you, that house was beautiful. I stayed in a beautiful, like, Spanish-style home, and if I could pick that house up and take it to Costa Rica, like, it's exactly what I'm looking for in Costa Rica. So the good news is, paying for that place to stay did help me, give me, like, a vision for what I want when I move to Costa Rica. It was just the perfect Spanish-style house, the kind of house you see in Mexico, and I'm hoping you see in Costa Rica. Yeah, so that was nice. But I was like, oh, I'm paying, and then I leave here, and then I have a gap, and then I come back here to this house sit. So I'm also paying for a place to stay next week. I don't like that. I don't like that. All right? Yes. I'm like, good grief. Ugh. But you got to do what you got to do. The good news is, I got to spend the second half of the summer bopping around the U.S., and I've not paid for a place to stay very much. I didn't add up the days, but not very much. That was just 3 days, and then I did go to Birmingham this time last week, I think. Was I in Birmingham, or I just left Birmingham? So I have been mixing in house sitting and Airbnb to do my little USA road trip, Southern USA road trip. All right, okay, well, friends. Yes, Janae, trusted house sitters ruined my vacation perspective. Paid for an Airbnb for my husband's birthday in Mexico City and was like, is this what people pay to stay for? She said, not gonna get me again. Sometimes it's worth it to pay. I'm going to try to give you a better perspective, Janae. It's okay. Sometimes it's okay to pay for things. It helps us to appreciate house sitting even more. Sometimes it's good to pay so that you can appreciate house sitting when you get it. Yes, well, let's look at it like that, right? Sometimes you need the rain to appreciate the sunshine. Okay. Yes. And then Elise says, think of Airbnbs as investing in other people's businesses and helping them live their dreams. Yes. If you can find an Airbnb that's owned by an individual. It's harder. Airbnbs have been taken over by when this is another thing that's changed, right? Airbnbs have been taken over by these like larger business entities. Used to be an individual person. Anyway, I don't want to get back on that. Yeah. Yes, right? Think of it that way. Okay, new view on the world. Yes. Yes, okay, so that's it. We know how to get started. We know that Labor Day is the end of the summer season. We know that we can still house sit. I'm not saying just because summer's over, house sitting is over, right? But what I'm saying is Labor Day is the last big hurrah until Thanksgiving for a lot of parts of the world, for a lot of parts in the U.S. Now, in some parts of the U.S., house sitting never dies out. But in some parts, summer, and then you have a little gap before it picks back up for Thanksgiving, okay? So get your house sits booked, y'all, okay? When you do, let me know. Keep me updated. And I'll keep you updated on Instagram. I'll show you some pictures of the little kitten. She's adorable. I'm at Vicarious on Instagram, so make sure you're following me over there. I can't type it. Vicarious. I'm at Vicarious on Instagram. I'll show you the kitten and maybe the dogs. These dogs have been not very into me taking photos of them yet, but we'll see what happens. Okay? All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. The ticket pricing. Good question. I don't have it yet. I mean, we have it, but I don't have that right notebook, and I don't want to tell you the wrong numbers. Okay? I don't have the notebook. I promise you the information is coming soon. We're going to do a low price ticket and then the upgraded ticket, like we did last year. But I don't have the exact number, and if I tell you the wrong number, we're going to be upset, okay? But we're going to do a low price ticket so that if you want to come, you can come. And then we're going to do an upgraded ticket that will include live Zoom events and extra coaching and extra things, okay? All right. But keep your eyes out and sign up for the Exodus Summit newsletter at exodussummit.com/newsletter so that when they do go on sale, you'll be able to get them right away because of the bonuses, the first bonuses. exodussummit.com/newsletter. Okay? See you guys. Thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for joining in, and thanks for asking and answering each other's questions. Thank you for the super chats. You know what? I saw them, but I didn't acknowledge them. Thank you very much for the super chats. Mostly, we're giving money through Patreon now instead of super chat because of the amount that YouTube takes. But thank you for the super chat, CR. Thank you for the super chat, Charmin. Speak life to folks. Yes. Thank you for the super chat, Media Mama Chick. And thank you for the super chat, Adele. Thank you very much. We'll contribute this to the Vicarian Sabbatical Fund. I appreciate you guys. All right. See you guys next time. Bye.